And good evening, wrestling fans. Welcome to Primetime Wrestling. I'm your host, Gotmark76. Tonight's Primetime Wrestling will be the final primetime before the big event next Monday night in Toronto, Canada, in front of 70,000 strong. And tonight's main event features Paul Mr. Wonderful Orndorff defending the World Wrestling Federation Championship against the Junkyard Dog. Will the Junkyard Dog be defending that world title next Monday night against Hulk Hogan? We will find out later tonight. And Koko B. Ware and Barry Horowitz starting it out. And a beautiful maneuver by Koko B. Ware takes Barry Horowitz up and over. We also have in a non-title matchup tonight, the Killer Bees tangle with the Hart Foundation. And both of those teams have matches set for the big event as well. And a beautiful elbow by Koko B. Ware takes Barry Horowitz down. Hercules will take on Mike Rotundo, and Koko B. Ware locks in a sleeper hold on Barry Horowitz. Will Barry Horowitz tap out? And he reverses it. Beautiful maneuver by Barry Horowitz. And I thought Koko had this match won with a sleeper hold. Hercules Hernandez in action tonight against Mike Rotundo. And the British Bulldogs in action. And we have a loaded card. So we thank you for tuning in. Koko B. Ware fights his way out. Oh, misses with a shoulder block. And Barry Horowitz does not miss with a clothesline. In the corner goes Koko B. Ware. And now Horowitz stopping away on the midsection of Koko B. Ware, who kicks Horowitz in the midsection himself. Picks him up, and a big body slam down goes Barry Horowitz. Koko B. Ware in control. Setting up a big shoulder block, takes Horowitz down. Koko B. Ware can feel it. And the fans here in New York, Madison Square Garden, can feel it too. Into the ropes goes Horowitz. Oh, a stalemate. Big clothesline takes Horowitz down. And Koko B. Ware climbs the second turnbuckle. And Koko drops a fist across the forehead of Barry Horowitz. A double axe handle to the legs. An effective maneuver by Koko B. Ware. And a beautiful headbutt, standing headbutt by Koko. He's going to climb to the top rope. Could it be that missile dropkick? Horowitz getting back to his feet. Koko is perched. And the Birdman flies. Drop kick off the top turnbuckle. And here's another look. That beautiful drop kick off the top turnbuckle nails Horowitz right in the kisser. And good night, Irene. You can count to 10. Koko B. Ware with the victory over Barry Horowitz tonight on Primetime Wrestling. And what an exciting young athlete here in the World Wrestling Federation, making his way, looking forward to possible Intercontinental title implications. And there's that beautiful missile drop kick off the top rope. And Barry Horowitz could not get up. And your winner in our opening contest, Koko B. Ware. Fans, the Bulldogs are in action next as they take on the Moondogs. And of course, we have an update going over next week's big event card. Fans, thank you for tuning in. We'll be right back after this quick commercial break. And the following contest on Primetime Wrestling will be the British Bulldogs going up against the Moondogs. And a big clothesline by Davies Boy Smith takes Spot down. And the British Bulldogs have a 2 out of 3 falls match in their future with the Hart Foundation next Monday night at the big event. The former World Tag Team Champions looking to climb their way back into the world title picture as they take on the Hart Foundation, who happen to be in action later on tonight against the Killer Bees in a non-title matchup. And of course, the big news coming out of the World Wrestling Federation, President Jack Tunney announcing an Intercontinental Tag Team title tournament. We'll have much more information in the coming weeks, but I can tell you this, the British Bulldogs and the Hart Foundation are part of that tournament. And a beautiful maneuver by Dynamite Kid, dropping that headbutt across the head of Moondog Spot. I'm not really sure that maneuver will affect Spot too much, but maybe that move will. Beautiful pile driver by Dynamite Kid takes Spot down. And now a neck breaker by Dynamite Kid, and Spot's in trouble. And Dynamite Kid going over to Rex. Beautiful maneuver but on the part of Dynamite Kid, stopping Spot from making the tag and cutting him off on his half of the ring. Big thunderous clothesline by Dynamite Kid, who's going up top. And Dynamite Kid can fly. He's up top, perched high, and drops the leg across the chest of Moondog Spot. Dynamite picks him up, whips him hard into the turnbuckle, and a kick to the midsection. And he's setting him up for some maneuver. It looks like a power bomb. Up and down goes Spot. Oh, and Spot with an elbow and a big clothesline. The first offensive maneuver. And now Spot going over to make a tag, and here comes Rex. And Dynamite Kid slowly to get back to his feet. Oh, but nails him with an elbow and a crossbody. Takes Rex down. So Spot made the tag, but similar results as the Bulldogs are in control. Beautiful snap suplex by Dynamite Kid. And now Dynamite Kid goes over and makes a tag to Davey Boy. Davey Boy picks up Rex and a big punch to the midsection. An uppercut sends Rex reeling. And a kick to the midsection. Now Davey Boy setting him up. And there's a power bomb by Davey Boy. Goes for the cover. Could this be it? Referee's down 1, 2. And I think Rex kicked out. And the referee getting Dynamite out of the ring. Spot rolled out. And Rex with a big left hand clobbering Davey Boy. Ooh, who reverses it with a fireman's carry. And I expect this 2 out of 3 falls match next week in Toronto at the big event to be a show stealer, because these two tag teams can go at it. And they will be in the hometown of Bret Hitman Hart. So one would think that the Hart Foundation would have the advantage, at least from the response of the audience, the fan support. And Davey Boy picks up Rex, has him, whips him into the ropes. And off, a stalemate. These two big men going at it. And Davey Boy trying to, it looks, it was going for a crossbody, missed. And then allowed Rex to get a beautiful hip toss up and over. And makes the tag to Spot. Here comes Spot. And Davey Boy whips him hard into the turnbuckle. A big punch to the midsection. Up against the ropes. Davey Boy has him in trouble. Picks up Spot. Into the turnbuckle goes Spot. Tags in Dynamite. And what do we have here? He's setting him up. Could it be their finishing maneuver? Up and a spike pile driver down. And Spot is in trouble. Dynamite goes for the cover. Referee, Dynamite rolls out. I guess he saw Rex coming, decided not to go for the cover, as Rex was going to break up the pinfall. And now Dynamite with a beautiful maneuver. A tombstone pile driver on Spot, and that should be it. Dynamite drags him to the middle of the ring. Davey Boy takes out Rex. Goes for the cover. Referee's down 1, 2, and 3. Wow, a spike pile driver and a tombstone, and there's no way Spot was getting out of that. Here are some highlights from earlier in the contest, as Dynamite had that beautiful snap suplex, and then of course a long-standing suplex by Davey Boy Smith. But it was a combination of the tombstone pile driver and the spike pile driver that put away Moondog Spot. Fans, 2 out of 3 falls next Monday night. The British Bulldogs and the Hart Foundation. We have much more primetime wrestling after this WWF update and commercial break. We'll be right back. Don't go away.
From the pages of the World Wrestling Federation magazine, here's Update.
Fans, we are 1 week away from the big event taking place in Toronto, Canada at Exhibition Stadium. The main event for that show will be the World Wrestling Federation Championship, as Mr. Wonderful Paul Orndorff defends against Hulk Hogan. This will be Hulk Hogan's first title opportunity since losing the belt at the main event back in March. Also on this card, the Intercontinental Championship will be on the line as champion Ravishing Rick Rude defends the belt against Don the Rock Morocco. Also, the World Tag Team Championship will be on the line as the Killer Bees defend against Axe and Smash of Demolition. The Macho Man Randy Savage will go one-on-one with Butch Reed in what has become a grudge match in recent weeks. The Hot Rod, Rowdy Roddy Piper, goes one-on-one with the $1 Million Man Ted DiBiase. Jake the Snake Roberts will tangle with Heenan family member Andre the Giant. And in a no disqualification, anything goes street fight, Jim Duggan takes on the one-man gang. A 2 out of 3 falls match with Intercontinental Tag Team title implications as the British Bulldogs tangle with the Hart Foundation. Fans, a loaded card for the main event. This is Update on Gotmark76. Fans, we are back with more primetime wrestling as Hercules Hernandez goes one-on-one with Mike Rotundo. And Bobby Heenan in the corner of Hercules. It was Bobby Heenan last week making his presence felt as Rick Rude defeated Ken Patera. Now, Patera had the full Nelson locked in. We thought we were going to have a new Intercontinental Champion when Bobby Heenan rang the timekeeper's bell. Patera, thinking he had won, prematurely celebrated, not realizing that it was Heenan who rang the bell and not the official timekeeper. When Rude rolled him up from behind and grabbed a handful of tights 3 seconds later, and Patera knew what happened. So Bobby Heenan is not one to shy away from interfering if it means that his wrestlers will benefit from it. And we'll see if Mike Rotundo can avoid Bobby Heenan interfering as Hercules wisely rolls out of the ring. Of course, we will see Bobby Heenan later on tonight as Mr. Wonderful takes on the challenge of the Junkyard Dog. The World Wrestling Federation Heavyweight Championship is on the line. So will next week's match be Junkyard Dog going against Hulk Hogan? And that's a match I think a lot of fans here in the World Wrestling Federation would like to see as Hercules poses in the ring. And Mike Rotundo gets back to his feet, slides back into the ring, is met with a big clothesline by Hercules. And I get the idea that Hercules is toying with Mike Rotundo, but you can't toy with this man. He's a former World Tag Team Champion, and he will give you everything he has. His one-loss record in recent months has not been the most favorable, but Mike Rotundo is a great athlete who I think if he can get a string of victories together will be a very tough competitor here in the World Wrestling Federation. And a big clothesline again takes Rotundo down. Hercules begging Rotundo to get back up. And he does. And he blocks the hand, and a big left hand by Rotundo, firing back. Big right hand takes Hercules down with a clothesline. Goes for the cover, referee in position, and a kick out, not even a 1 count. But Rotundo, at least showing some offense in this contest, is met with a high knee lift and an elbow drop by Hercules, and I think that busted Rotundo open. And it did. The forehead of Mike Rotundo has been busted open. And Hercules, like a shark smelling blood, whips Rotundo hard into the turnbuckle. Has him up in that backbreaker. He calls that the torture rack. And Rotundo is trying to fight it for everything he can. Can Rotundo escape? Rotundo trying not to give up. I don't see Rotundo as being one that says the words, "I quit." And Hercules lets him out of it. I don't think Rotundo did not submit. Hercules just let him out. And Rotundo firing back with a big right hand. Has Hercules up on his shoulders and a beautiful gut buster. Rotundo not out of this contest yet. Now Rotundo in control, picks up Hercules. And a big uppercut takes Hercules down. Just moments ago, Rotundo was in a backbreaker. Now he's in offense. Oh, and Hercules runs out. Rotundo follows. Oh, is met with a knee to the back. And Hercules flexes for the fans here in the Boston Garden. And the referee has begun a count. Oh, Hercules nailed him with a knee from behind. Rotundo gets back into the ring. Oh, he is. Oh, and met Hercules with a big forearm. Rotundo trying to make a comeback. Oh, and Hercules with a rake of the eyes. Whips Rotundo into the turnbuckle. Rotundo reverses it. Rotundo whoops Hercules into the turnbuckle. Off the ropes. And a bulldog. Face first goes Hercules. Rotundo showing fight. Picks up Hercules. Has him up. And a DDT. Up and over goes Hercules. Rotundo going for the cover. Could this be it? 2. And a kick out of 2. Rotundo complaining to the referee about the speed of the count. The fans here are on their feet. And Rotundo senses it. He's setting up Hercules. Up on his shoulder. And a beautiful Samoan slam down. Goes for the cover. That should be it. Oh, and a kick out at 1 by Hercules. Oh, and Hercules is done toying around. Big shoulder block. Takes Rotundo down. And a high knee lift to the face of Rotundo. And I think that knocked out Rotundo. Hercules picks up Rotundo. Whips him hard into the ropes. Up and over goes Rotundo. Oh, Rotundo hasn't been the same since that high knee lift about knocked him out. And Rotundo is not moving on the outside. The referee is counting. And Hercules will take a count-out victory. Now I can see Rotundo starting to stir. Hercules stopping the referee from counting. I don't think he wants to win this match on a count-out. But quite frankly, the winner's purse is the same no matter what. And now Hercules whips Rotundo hard into the turnbuckle. Bounces off. Has him up, and there's that backbreaker again. And I don't see Rotundo getting out of it this time. Hercules ranking down, and Rotundo has to quit. Rotundo submits, and there's your winner, Hercules Hernandez. Rotundo fought the entire contest, but that second backbreaker was too much for even him to get out of. And that's when I think it was all over, that high knee lift, and Rotundo was not the same since then. But this was a back-and-forth contest. Mike Rotundo has nothing to be ashamed of, fighting valiantly on the losing effort. And your winner, fans, Hercules Hernandez. Fans, the Killer Bees will tangle with the Hart Foundation in a non-title match. And that matchup is next. Don't go away. We'll be right back after this quick timeout. And welcome back to Primetime Wrestling. I'm Gotmark76, and this contest between the Killer Bees and the Hart Foundation will be a non-title match, as both teams looking to gain momentum heading into their respective matches at the big event next week, as the Killer Bees will defend the World Wrestling Federation Tag Team Championship against Axe and Smash of Demolition. Meanwhile, the Hart Foundation have a 2 out of 3 falls match on their agenda as they take on Davey Boy Smith and Dynamite Kid, the British Bulldogs. So these two teams, oh, an inside cradle, going for the cover. 1, 2, and a kick out. Blair had Neidhart in an inside cradle and almost ended this match early. These two teams who respect each other, I wouldn't go as far as to say that they like each other, but they respect each other. Kind of having a warm-up match, if you will. And an inverted atomic drop by B. Brian Blair. And Jim the Anvil Neidhart is in trouble. Ooh, and he drops an elbow across the arm of Neidhart. And Blair picks up Neidhart, setting him up, front face lock. Up and over with a suplex. Beautiful maneuver. Going for the cover, and Blair's on top. Ooh, and a kick out by Neidhart. And Blair now makes a tag, and here comes jumping Jim Brunzell, who leaps with a double axe handle across the chest of the Anvil. And the Killer Bees, who defeated the Islanders for the World Tag Team Championship at King of the Ring, looking to defend those titles against Demolition successfully. Demolition have been on quite the winning streak in recent months. And now Brunzell going for the cover, and Neidhart kicks out at 1. And a beautiful maneuver, up and over goes Brunzell, working the neck of Jim the Anvil Neidhart. And the fans here in Boston appreciate the effort. And now Brunzell whipping Neidhart into his corner. And we're about to see some double team maneuvers. Now working the leg of the Anvil, very wise. And a stomp to the knee of the Anvil. And that's great tag team work right there. If you take out the leg, that's the guy holding the opponent when the Hart Foundation go for the heart attack. And now Blair going for the cover. 2 and a kick out at 2. Oh, they're getting closer. Blair went for a cover earlier, only got a 1 count. Got a 2 count that time. Big shoulder block. Takes the Anvil down. And the Anvil makes a tag, and here comes a Hitman, who meets Blair with a forearm. Another clothesline takes Blair down. A forearm again. And Bret the Hitman Hart stomping away now on the chest of B. Brian Blair. A knee to the back, and the Hitman is in control. And Blair wisely rolls out of the ring, trying to gain his composure. And as he goes back in, Hart goes out. But that gave Brian Blair the advantage. And a big wind-up right hand takes Hart down, not climbing the second turnbuckle and dropping a forearm across the head. And now Blair making the tag to Brunzell. And an inside cradle again. Hart's down. Referee in position 1 and a kick out at 1 by Bret the Hitman Hart. And frequent tags are what the Killer Bees and the Hart Foundation do very well. And the Killer Bees definitely have their work cut out for them. Going for the covers, Brunzell. Hart's down 1 and a kick out at 1. Because Axe and Smash are 2 big, tough men. And now Brunzell whipping Hart across the ropes. And a big elbow takes Hart down. Brunzell in control. The Killer Bees looking for momentum as they head into the main event, or to the big event, excuse me. Oh, and a big elbow by Bret Hart. And a kick by Brunzell, pitting up Bret Hart. And a beautiful maneuver, a power bomb into a pinning predicament. But Hart makes the ropes. And what a move by Brunzell. Making the tag, and here comes Brian Blair. Bret Hart trying to make a tag to the Anvil. But Blair going after Anvil, but Hart makes the tag. Oh, I don't know if I agree with that maneuver on behalf of B. Brian Blair, but Blair has the control. He knocked the Anvil down, he knocked Bret Hart down, and it worked out. Snapmare takeover by B. Brian Blair. Now working the neck of Jim the Anvil Neidhart. And slamming them down, and Brian Blair, this is not a time to showboat, but again, it's a non-title match, so if they lose, no sweat off their backs. And Hart stopping B. Brian Blair from going to the top, and a big kick takes Blair down, and now Blair and the Anvil are down on the mat. Who's going to get to their feet first? Blair stirring around, Anvil moving around too. Both men down. Blair up to his feet first. Goes for the cover on the Anvil. The Anvil's not moving. 1, 2, and a kick out of 2. Oh, and the fans here erupt. This match not over. Now Blair going for the Boston Crab. Will Anvil give up? I do not see Neidhart as somebody who would say the words "I quit." And Blair really trying to sink it in. Oh, and the leg strength of the Anvil. Reverses the maneuver, goes for the cover. 1, 2, and throw a kick out of 2 3/4. Oh, and the Anvil feeling it. Big right hand. And now Blair's in trouble. Front face lock. The Anvil has Blair. Oh, slinging him over the top rope. And now the Anvil feeling it. Big right hand. And there's a Cobra clutch. And that's the Anvil's finishing maneuver. Can Blair escape? Oh, and the Anvil has it locked in. And Blair taps out. B. Brian Blair will fight to defend the title next week and tapped out relatively quickly. And they're their winners, the Hart Foundation. What a contest as they gain momentum heading into their 2 out of 3 falls contest against the British Bulldogs. And here are some highlights from earlier in the contest. And wait a second. The fans in the stirring in the back. Axe and Smash are making their way to the ring. The Killer Bees and Axe and Smash. Oh, and they're going at it. The Killer Bees fans. We'll be right back with more Primetime Wrestling after this quick timeout. Oh. And fans, the main event here on Primetime Wrestling will be Mr. Wonderful Paul Orndorff defending the World Wrestling Federation Heavyweight Championship against Junkyard Dog. And Orndorff knocking Dog down early and saying, that's it, it's over. And Junkyard Dog may have something to say about that. A series of right hands by Mr. Wonderful. Should Junkyard Dog defeat Mr. Wonderful for the title tonight, then Junkyard Dog will defend against Hulk Hogan next Monday night at the big event. And Orndorff whipping Junkyard Dog hard, and down with a clothesline goes JYD. And I think a lot of fans would like to see Junkyard Dog and Hulk Hogan. As Junkyard Dog rolls out of the ring, slides back in, is met with another right hand. And Mr. Wonderful has been in control in the early going. Reversal by Junkyard Dog into the ropes, and a big clothesline takes the champion down. And now stomping away on the champion is the challenger. JYD is in control right now, but he would love to wrestle Hulk Hogan in front of 74,000 people. Trust me when I say that. And in order to do so, it's not an easy task. He'll need to defeat Mr. Wonderful. JYD in control now. Snapmare takeover, and Orndorff goes up and over. Heenan shouting instructions from ringside, and Mr. Wonderful is locked in a headlock right now by Junkyard Dog, trying to fight his way out. Gets up to his knee. An elbow to the midsection. The second one breaks the hold, and Mr. Wonderful in control. Gorilla Press Slam. Up and down goes the Junkyard Dog. And Mr. Wonderful, instead of following up, is arguing with the fans. And wow, Mr. Wonderful had a chance to really do some damage, and he got fortunate there by staying on top of Junkyard Dog after getting into it with the ringside fans. And now Mr. Wonderful working the arm. Ooh, and a submission maneuver by Mr. Wonderful. And I don't see Junkyard Dog giving up here. And Mr. Wonderful lets him out. Rolls him over. Will try to go for the pinfall. Referee's down. Whoa, not even a count of one. And Junkyard Dog quick to kick out. And Mr. Wonderful goes to stomp, and Junkyard Dog rolls out of the ring. And a rake of the back by the Junkyard Dog. And now has Mr. Wonderful up with a suplex. And down goes Orndorff. Oh, the Junkyard Dog in control. Side headlock, and Mr. Wonderful's trying to regroup and think of his next move. Meanwhile, the Junkyard Dog really sinking in that headlock. Mr. Wonderful fighting his way out, however. And another elbow, and Mr. Wonderful in control off the ropes, and a drop kick. Nails the Junkyard Dog. And Orndorff calling for the pile driver. And that would be quite early in the contest. Has a big fist to the stomach, whips Junkyard Dog in, and a big clothesline takes JYD down. Orndorff going for the cover. Referee's down 1, 2, and throw a kick out at 2. Oh, that was almost 3. And Orndorff can't believe it. And now kicking away on JYD is Mr. Wonderful. A kick to the midsection. Junkyard Dog with a big left hand. He's trying to fight back. Has Mr. Wonderful up, and a pile driver. You gotta be kidding me. He uses Mr. Wonderful's finishing maneuver. And the JYD with a big headbutt, and Orndorff's in trouble. Now JYD in control. Orndorff trying to get back to his feet. Big right hand. Another right hand. Oh, it's stopped by JYD. But Orndorff with a kick to the midsection. Has JYD against the ropes. And a slingshot over the top rope. Oh, and what a back and forth contest this has been. Orndorff picking up the JYD. Knee to the midsection. Kick to the chest. Another kick to the chest. Takes JYD down. Now Mr. Wonderful ascending that second turnbuckle. Could he be hitting that forearm? And he does, across the head of JYD. The fans have risen to their feet. Orndorff goes for the cover. 1, 2, and a kick out at 2. Oh, and Junkyard Dog keeping his hopes alive of winning the World Heavyweight Championship. Orndorff whips hard into the turnbuckle. JYD in trouble. And a belly-to-back suplex, and Orndorff is in control. And now climbing, he's flexing for the fans. Wow. He has JYD down, could have gone for a cover. Instead is flexing for the fans, allowing JYD to recuperate. And now a big stomp, goes for the cover. There's no way he's going to pin him here. Rolls him over, 1, 2, and a kick out at 2 by Junkyard Dog. If he had gone for the cover earlier, he may have won and retained the championship. Oh, and he ran into JYD, but JYD making a comeback. Has him in the Bulldog maneuver. And now Mr. Wonderful really paying for that flexing on the top turnbuckle. JYD has him up. Scoop slam. Now on his knees and a headbutt by JYD. Mr. Wonderful's in trouble. And Heenan up on the apron. And Mr. Wonderful from behind to roll up. Has a handful of tights. Referee's counting 1, 2, and 3. No, a kick out. Oh, the fans here erupt. Orndorff had a handful of tights, but the JYD able to get out. And now, working the arm, Russian leg sweep by the Junkyard Dog. Goes for the cover, Orndorff's down. 1, 2, and throw. Kicked out by Mr. Wonderful. Oh, man. Junkyard Dog almost won the title there. Working the neck of Mr. Wonderful, trying to get out. A big left hand breaks a hold of the knee to the midsection. Another kick to the chest. And Mr. Wonderful, Junkyard Dog going back and forth. The World Heavyweight Championship on the line. Orndorff whips JYD into the ropes and a beautiful hip toss by Mr. Wonderful. Now calling for the pile driver. And if he hits it, this may be it. Mr. Wonderful picking up the Junkyard Dog. Has him set up for the pile driver, up and down. Oh, beautiful maneuver. And the Junkyard Dog may not be able to kick out of this one. And there's a replay. No one does it better than Mr. Wonderful. Goes for the cover. Referee counts 1, 2, and 3. And Mr. Wonderful, Paul Orndorff, has retained the World Wrestling Federation Heavyweight Championship. And he will, in fact, defend that title next week against Hulk Hogan at the big event. Hulk Hogan's first title rematch since losing the belt at March's main event. Oh, what a back and forth contest this was. JYD has no reason to hang his head in shame as he came within an eyelash of winning the World Heavyweight Championship. He had Orndorff in several pinning predicaments, but unable to get the 3. And Mr. Wonderful has some momentum heading into his match against Hulk Hogan next week. And there it is, the pile driver. And Junkyard Dog was down. And fans, the big event next Monday night. I'm so excited. Gotmark76, the Wrestling Network, and the World Wrestling Federation. And there's your World Heavyweight Champion. Fans, we thank you for tuning in to Primetime. Wait a second. Mr. Wonderful has the world title. And he's attacking Junkyard Dog on the outside. Come on. He's hitting him with a world title belt. Again, a 3rd time. And a 4th time. And Mr. Wonderful, who has had a series of pile driving his opponents on the floor, is doing it again. Up and down goes Junkyard Dog. Oh my. Somebody has to put a stop to this. Can Hulk Hogan do it? We'll find out next Monday night at the big event. Fans, thank you for tuning in. We will see you in Toronto in 1 week's time. Good night, everybody. What the what?